What an intense scene. Turkey transgressions, aerial assaults, and tons of out-of-body experiences. Today, we're breaking down and reacting to a very heated battle between Omni-Man and Homelander. How realistic are these injuries and medical scenes from Mortal Kombat 1? Mortal Kombat! We're about to find out. Let's dive right in. Oh. Oh my gosh. Mortal Kombat, great job. Because anatomy-wise, you see these like weird big shaped tubes that are on the bottom and on the side. That is your large intestine, your colon. Where the heat is being targeted is your small intestine in the middle, probably covered by some omentum, and it's just melting it and burning it. You have the ribs there, we can see the liver on the upper right, you can see the pelvic structures, the hips. Anatomy is fantastic. Could the heat cause it to explode? This amount of heat in this situation, sure. Does it happen in real life? No, but we do see people puncture their intestines. Literally, their intestines can have like an ulcer in it. There can be a blockage. They can have diverticulitis that then pops open and you get free air into the diaphragm and it ruptures. Oh, is that like his finishing move?
Way to die.
We literally separate the head from the body. It's all connected by like tendons and ligaments. They do a good job of depicting the vertebrae. Yeah, they do a pretty good job of it actually, because you're seeing the spinous processes and the transverse processes in the back compared to the vertebral bodies that are in the front. If I was going to tell Mortal Kombat to add anything, would be to give me two different colors of the blood, bright red and give me a more maroon, so you can distinguish between the venous blood and the arterial blood. Oh, I've seen that move before. A massive amount of barrel trauma to the eardrums themselves. I don't know if you've ever had an ear infection, but it hurts a lot. So where's the bleeding coming from? Typically, it's relating to the vessels around the eardrum and it bleeds. People will experience this on a much different level. I'm on a new level. If they have an ear infection and the eardrum rips open, or if somebody's in such a high pressured area where, say, an explosion goes off, you can rupture your eardrums because of the differences in pressures, and then you have bleeding as well. Oh my gosh, Kalima. So much force able to get into the thoracic cavity. Now, you gotta go through the sternum. You're probably going just to the left side of the sternum because you have more space. You got the ribs instead of like a solid piece of bone there. Obviously superpowers, but why wouldn't you make it a little bit easier on yourself? And then you're going into the thoracic cavity, into the mediastinum, the area where the heart and your esophagus and the trachea all kind of lie in the middle structures versus the other components of the thoracic cavity, which are where your lungs hang out. If you're playing this, you'll want to stay sharp and focused, right? That's where my energy and focus supplement, Level Up, could come in play. It can boost your mental clarity and stamina. Visit lifehappens.com, and we're also on Amazon. Oh.
Not sorry.
Cutting somebody's face and body in half, you might catch the posterior aspects of the brain like your cerebellum or the occipital lobe, and then maybe some temporal horns that you'll be able to see. And then obviously the midface structures, your maxillary sinus, the nose, and then the body just slicing in half, and we're having a ton of bleeding from the middle of the body. Isn't it really cool that we were made that all our important structures are like buried deep within our body? I think that's really impressive. Oh man. What an intense scene. Obviously not as realistic as everyday activities that we deal with or see, but people getting hit by cars, hit by trains, mechanical falls, blunt trauma, you're worried about internal, bleeding, fractures, dislocations. So basically we're guided by not just the mechanism, but by how somebody is feeling, what areas hurt. Oh. So much heat, could it cause an explosion? When we see people whose heads explode open, it's usually due to blunt trauma that's causing, or penetrating trauma due to like a blast injury, like a gunshot wound. And then people's bodies cut in half. We see partially these type of injuries, but not fully all the way through like this. Oh, man. Massive jaw fracture, probably lost some teeth. If anybody ever has an avulsed tooth, so a tooth that actually comes right out, try to find the tooth. Put it in your mouth, put it in Hank's Balanced Salt solution. Yeah, that's hard to find. Where are you gonna get that? Milk, maybe even water. Don't scrub it because there's specific ligaments on the tooth itself. People really don't understand the consequences of what they end up doing when they cause this much trauma to somebody's head or face. Could actually kill somebody or really permanently disfigure them or cause permanent disability. So just be mindful of that, especially if you're, find yourself in a situation where you need to defend yourself. Obviously, we worry about infections to the hand, punching somebody in the face, increases the risk of infection because the human mouth is very dirty. Oh my gosh. I've seen individuals get close to that who have connective tissue disorders, but not that far. Obviously, if you're spinning all the way around, causing spinal cord problems, fracturing the vertebrae, or disrupting all the connective tissue of the vertebrae. That's the only way that you can get all the way around like that. So would there be blood that comes out like that? It could if you disrupt the esophagus and bleeding into the mouth. But again, that's where that needs to come out. Maybe the airway, if the trachea gets bloodied up due to the rupture of those structures. Whoa.
Your parents must be disappointed.
I love Omni-Man's cockiness.
Do you really think you can stop me?
That almost looks like a body that you would see at one of those like anatomy exhibits. So you're seeing connective tissue, you're seeing muscles, striations, all the structure, the bones, very cool. The tissue is just gone. You know your skin is your largest organ. Has to do with temperature regulation, has to do with getting nutrients to different parts of your body on certain levels, has to do with carrying your nerves and your senses. They did a good job of, as the eye is getting more and more pressure, it's getting a little bit more injected or red to the sclera, that white part of the eye, and then the eye popping out, right? I've told you before, there are 6 muscle attachments onto that eye itself, and then you have the optic nerve in the back. You'd still have some connectivity to the eye. It wouldn't just go flying out. It'd be cool if they had the eye muscles actually on there or the optic nerve hanging out the back. Train. Everything is gone from the pelvis down, bleeding out from down below. Is this survivable? Potentially. If it was a slower process and you're able to control the bleeding, yes, you could potentially survive. You're going to have issues relating to kidney function. If you still have your kidneys, then you probably need some nephrostomy tubes so you can get the kidneys to get rid of the urine. Of the clips that I got to see of all the fights, it looks like Homelander got the better of Omni-Man, even though Omni-Man just like boom, one and done. It's interesting to react to Mortal Kombat. Because a lot of the injuries that we do see in the emergency department are related to like kind of accidents, freak accidents, fights, stabs. If you guys enjoyed my reaction to this, definitely check out this playlist right here. Binge watch everything. As always, please do me a favor, subscribe, turn your bell notifications on, and hit that like button for me. Thank you so much for watching, and stay healthy, my friends.